Hey everybody, it's just me coming at you with another Wonderlands build. This is a BrrZerker Blightcaller melee build, but before we really get into the details of it, I just kind of want to give a thanks to everybody who has subscribed to my YouTube and followed me on Twitch. And if you haven't, please subscribe to me and go ahead and follow me over on twitch.tv/itsjustme12345678. It'll help me out a lot, and I appreciate everything you are doing for me. So with that, let's go ahead and get into the video.
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true, baby, let the light shine through. If you believe it's true, baby, won't you let the light shine through for you.
Okay, wait a second. 337 million. I went over 300 million. I've broken my record. No way. There's no way. There's no way it did that. 300. Oh my gosh, y'all. That is a lot of damage. 337. There is two ways you can play this build. The first one is using the Empowering Sigil as your spell. Mainly all you want to do is jump down here, shoot them with the Delusion, activate your ability. You want your shield to break. And then cast your spell and melee. And the second way you can play this build is you can swap your Empowering Sigil for a Ka-Chow Bonk Cryo Buffmaster. It has to be Cryo because we have to be able to apply Frost status effect to the enemy. And so when you activate this Buffmaster, you shoot Cryo through your weapon. So it's the same thing. You'll jump down here, shoot them with the Delusion, cast your ability, have your shield broken, activate your spell, shoot them, melee. Now first starting off with the weapons and gear here, we've got the Delusion. I use the Delusion to apply soak to the bosses before I melee them. We are expecting to bog down on the Blightcaller tree, but that's mainly just for the soaked effect on mobbing. Then we have the live wire. You're going to want to shoot them with the Delusion, swap to the live wire, melee them. The live wire gives you an increased melee damage. And then the melee weapon that's best in slot for this build is the Cryo Banshee. I was testing out the Cryo Spellblade, and it also does do pretty good. You can change to a Zap Bonk Cryo Buffmaster if you want and use the Spellblade, and it hits really hard, but I was enjoying the Welling Banshee. It's a really good in slot weapon for this build. Then the rings, we're just running 2 melee damage rings. I'm running a Cursed Wit with a passive melee damage increase. The Cursed Wit is a huge damage buff. That's why you see me breaking my shield in all the videos before I melee the boss. And then we get to the body armor. This is the real thing that's giving us the big damage. So what you're going to want is an ability and spell damage increased by your melee paradigm, but it has to have 3 out of 3 into Icebreaker. Icebreaker is really what makes this build hit so hard, is the 60% up to 60% on frozen enemies, and that's why there is 2 different playstyles for this build. You can either run an Empowering Sigil, which I notice is a lot better for mobbing, and then you can also run the Ka-Chow Bonk Buffmaster. This is what I used to hit the 337 million on Parasite. I was using this Buffmaster, so if you want my honest opinion, I would do Empowering Sigil for mobbing and Cryo Buffmaster for bossing. And then the last thing here, we have our necklace. I'm running the Urge because the Plague Storm takes a really long time to cool down, and especially when you're mobbing, if you have a sigil, your sigil you can activate just about every 5 seconds, so really you'll always have the sigil activated, and you could always be getting your action skill cooldown. This is a really good one, but mainly all you're wanting to look for is the all damage dealt. That's the important thing on the necklace there. And then over in the BrrZerker tree, we've got 5 out of 5 into frost damage increase. We've got 5 out of 5 into melee damage increase. I mainly chose this just because we're running a paradigm, so any buff to melee is a buff to ability. We're running 5 out of 5 into bonus damage for being close. Since we're melee and we are the closest you can get, so 5 out of 5 into this is amazing. And then, like I said, you're going to want your body armor to have 3 out of 3 into Icebreaker, so we can rock about 6 out of 3 into Icebreaker, which is up to 60% against frozen enemies. My body armor also had 2 out of 3 into Cold Snap. I went ahead and put 3 out of 3 into it because of the frost efficiency. It's very, very nice. The frost efficiency helps out a lot in this build. I went ahead and went 1 out of 1 into this, mainly for my ring. One of the rings is while your shield's broken, and so this makes your ward be broke all the time. And then I went 1 out of 3 into Blood Frenzy because I was having a hard time at staying alive, so I went Blood Frenzy mainly for the 3% maximum health restore. And then I went 1 out of 1 into Relentless Rage. This is awesome. Just in case you get down, you will get Save Your Soul meter for doing damage to enemies, so it helps a lot. 1 out of 1 into Blast Chill. Blast Chill is really, really good. It is only a 20% chance, but if it does activate, it is ability damage and it's frost. We're buffing ability damage and we're buffing frost, so this is a really good skill to have. And then I went ahead and went 1 out of 1 into Blood of the Fallen, mainly just to try to get my action skill cooldown as low as possible. Then over in the Blightcaller tree, we have 5 out of 5 in the status effect chance and duration. I went with this because we're wanting to apply that frost status effect to enemies. That's how we do our damage. 4 out of 5 in the Geist in the Shell, 5 out of 5 in the Active Decay. This is mainly just to get down the tree, but also Geist in the Shell to bog down. Poison damage increase for Geist in the Shell. Also, Geist in the Shell is ability damage, which we're buffing through the paradigm. But mainly it was to get down the tree to Frostbite. Whenever the Fate Maker applies a frost status effect, their melee damage and critical hit chance. Mainly I'm just looking for the melee damage increase. That melee damage increase is another buff to our ability damage through the paradigm. And just to show y'all here my hero stats, I've got 48 out of 48 into strength, so max crit damage, max crit percent chance. I went ahead and put the rest into attunement because, like I said, the Plague Storm, it's really hard to keep it keep it up. It has a very, very long cooldown time. So whatever you can do to make it come back faster, that's what you're looking for. So 29 out of 36 into attunement's what I went with. And just to show off my myth rank, just to prove that I don't have any points in the melee damage here, I have 20 out of 20 into crit chance. I have 20 out of 20 into swing speed. And I do have 11 out of 20 into crit damage. That is only if I crit. So I only get this extra damage when I crit. The actual melee damage increase here, I have 0 points into. So I'm not pushing anything crazy on it, trying to put one over on y'all. But yeah, guys, that's the video. Thank y'all so much for watching it. This is my 3rd build video. I've really been enjoying all the likes and all the views they've been getting. So if you could, just go ahead and follow me. And thank you so much.